Hello and welcome to the news on Pace TV. My name is Stella Ene-Iyang. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission EFCC on Thursday declared wanted the managing director of Senate President Bukola Saraki's property company, Mr. Kennedy Izuagbe, for alleged 3.6 billion naira money laundering. Izuagbe is the managing director of the Kalai Properties and Investment Limited, a firm said to be owned by Saraki, was alleged to have conspired with others to launder the said amount while he was the managing director of the defunct Societe Generale Bank. The head of media and publicity of the EFCC, Mr. Wilson Wujari, said in a statement on Thursday that Izuagbe, a 45-year-old banker, was declared wanted because he could not be reached by the anti-graft agency and all efforts to reach him have proved abortive. Nigeria's Minister of Foreign Affairs, Professor Ibrahim Gambari, says violence and threats, as well as threats to peace, have both political and socio-economic dimensions, adding that it could be contagious if not quickly addressed. The former minister was speaking alongside other dignitaries at an event that focused on peace building in Lagos. Pace TV's Damilola Adeluba has more on this story.
Professor Ibrahim Gambari and former Commonwealth Secretary General Chief Emeka Anyaoku were among dignitaries that graced the event on peace building. Threats to peace, which they agreed have both political and socio-economic dimensions, could be contagious if not fully addressed.
Boko Haram insurgency and violent extremism, because they don't respect borders. Therefore, we must not respect borders in addressing the challenge and fighting back.
Not only the government, also the NGOs should pay great attention to the IDPs, because settling them in the place of temporary refuge and eventually enabling them to return to their original homes must be a priority for the authorities.
In addressing this issue, vital tools such as governance, creating jobs, among others, are key.
Ambassadors that have retired, that have negotiated conflicts, there should be a platform for them to reminisce.
We employ the tools of peace journalism to also help in promoting peace in all our reportage.
We continue to harp on peace, make it part of our curriculum in schools so that people understand.
They also want institutions to facilitate peace building across Nigeria and Africa. Damilola Adeluba for Pace TV News.
Members of Rivers State's chapter of Nigeria Labour Congress NLC and Trade Union Congress TUC have joined their counterparts nationwide to march against corruption in the country. The march by NLC and TUC members in Port Harcourt, the state capital, on Thursday was organized to drum support for the anti-corruption war of President Muhammadu Buhari. Pace TV's Muinat Oladipupo has the report.
The state factional chairman of the Nigeria Labour Congress, Beatrice Itubu, said the labour movement wants anti-corruption agencies to be strengthened, as well as enactment of laws to protect whistleblowers.
We call on Mr. President to ensure that all funds identified to have been stolen from the common treasury is traced and recovered to the last kobo. That all such recovered funds should be kept in a special account and appropriated for job creation, funding educational infrastructure from primary to tertiary institutions, and for upgrading of our health care infrastructure. To indicate our support and call for the establishment of a special anti-corruption court to try corruption cases in the country.
The anti-corruption march took members of the labor unions from the Labour House through major routes to the state government house in Port Harcourt. Chief of Staff to the state governor, Emeka Unwoke, promised to deliver their message to the government and assured them his administration will shun corruption.
Let me assure you that this message that you have delivered will get to His Excellency the Governor of Rivers State accordingly. And to assure you that His Excellency the Governor of Rivers State will do everything within his powers to support every action that has to do with fighting corruption and ensuring the deliverance of good governance and dividends of democracy to the citizens.
Since the inception of the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari, Nigerians believe that all forms of corruption, like embezzlement of public funds and bribery, will soon come to an end.
Corruption, corruption, corruption,
Winat Oladipopo reporting for pacetv News.
Robust basic education is required to lay a solid foundation for effective learning and character formation for Nigerian children. This has prompted the Rivers State chapter of the National Orientation Agency (NOA) to organize a public lecture for teachers on basic education and value reorientation in the state capital of Port Harcourt. Pace TV's correspondent Ayo has the rest of the story.
Robust basic education is required to lay a solid foundation for effective learning and character formation for Nigerian children. This has prompted the Rivers State chapter of the National Orientation Agency (NOA) to organize a public lecture for teachers on basic education and value reorientation in the state capital, Port Harcourt. Speaking at the event, the Rivers State coordinator of the National Orientation Agency, Oliver Wolugbam, said since teachers are role models, they have strategic roles to play in character molding for students to inculcate the right values in the society.
Teachers must value who they are. Every man or woman who is a big man or big woman today passed through a teacher. Therefore, your profession is noble. You must take it, respect it, and ensure that you guide against it. We know that there are challenges on the way, but you must be a role model to our children.
Other stakeholders at the event said everyone has contributed to the erosion of the value system of Nigerians, such as hard work, honesty, respect, and tolerance. Hence, the need to make students at the basic education level imbibe the right attitude and the behavior in school.
Our concern is not to blame any particular individual, institution, government, or profession. This workshop calls for a critical self-examination. It is not inclined to pedagogy, but tailored towards interaction. Let us do the right thing and transform our children.
In order to ensure our progress, a better society, it all depends on us as mediums and channels through which, as agents of change, we can better our society.
According to the popular saying, you can give what you don't have. There's a need for teachers to train pupils on imbibing proper values and etiquette rather than seeing teaching as a meal ticket. It's been Ayo reporting for Pace TV.
You're still on Pace TV News. Coming up next is business. Don't go anywhere. The governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Mr. Godwin Emefiele, has expressed worries over the country's position as a net importer of agricultural produce with imports above 630 billion naira. Emefiele, in a keynote address at the training workshop on innovative agriculture insurance products held on Thursday in Lagos, stated that the country imports food products such as wheat, rice, flour, fish, tomato paste, textile, and sugar in large quantities annually. He also pointed out that the country is currently being faced with so much developmental challenges, especially with the declining global crude oil prices and the nation's dependence on it as its major source of revenue, stressing the need to diversify the monocultural tendencies of the Nigerian economy by developing other sectors of the economy, especially agriculture. The Rivers State government has empowered 300 widows from the 23 local government areas of the state in commemoration of the 2015 International Widows' Day. Speaking during the presentation of the empowerment materials in form of cash to the widows in Port Harcourt, the state governor, represented by his deputy, Dr. Mrs. Ipali Bohari Banigo, said the government will focus on gender-friendly policies like soft loans for widows, Pace TV's Dominica Kose completes the rest of the story.
Harry Banigo stated that this will help address the high level of injustice against women, especially widows who are being stigmatized and discriminated against in most parts of the world. The permanent secretary in the State Ministry of Women Affairs, Justina Jumbo, said widows are vulnerable women in the world who need support and advised them to use the money wisely.
I urge you to form cooperative societies to enable you to have easy access to soft goods and increase your business capacity. For our part, the state government will encourage cooperatives with revolving loan schemes to guarantee funds that will be used to boost small-scale businesses and subsequently enhance better living for the widows in the state. The starting may be little, but with prudent management of funds, determination, and above all, continuous trust in God. The benefit of today's event will germinate and multiply in Jesus' name.
Let us use International Widows Day to advocate for the rights of all widows so that they can enjoy better lives and realize their great potential to contribute to our world.
While some beneficiaries expressed gratitude to the government for the gesture, other stakeholders called for review of the nation's law to favor widows.
I'm very, very excited because, if a widow, maybe some of us today don't have 1 naira to eat, but out of a sudden, they gave us package. So it is a thing of joy. We are happy, I'm grateful. They say at all is bad. This one, before you see somebody will bring out that kind of amount and say, take and manage yourself. You appreciate, even if it's 1 naira.
Within a short period of time, in his 100 days in office, I would say he has done so well. And I'm sure the widows are happy.
Recent constitution made 1999 that gives, you would think it gave right to, the widow, but it did not. That constitution, didn't give right to the widow. So what we're saying, it should be amended. Everything should be given to the widow.
The event highlights clarion calls for more support programs for widows and their families for a better security for all. This is Dominic Agose reporting for Pace TV News.
You're still on to Pace TV News. Coming up next is sports. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. It's still Pace TV News. Team Nigeria has emerged Africa's best track and field country at the conclusion of the athletics event at the ongoing 11th All-African Games in Brazzaville, Congo yesterday. Nigeria won a total of 10 gold medals to emerge tops for the 9th consecutive edition of the Games. In a related development, Nigeria's under-23 football team, Dream Team B, have won the bronze medal of the football event of the All-African Games, beating host Congo 5-3 in the third-place match after a goalless encounter. Next is entertainment. Stick around. Welcome back. The long-awaited 8-track album from the sensational Yoruba-born artist, gospel artist Tolulope Abiodun is set to be released. Tolulope disclosed this in an exclusive interview with Pace TV. The album launch, which is slated for Saturday, the 24th of October 2015, at the Redeemed Christian Church of God, Igu Zonal Headquarters, number 3, Tarmac Road, Dalimo, Sango, Ota in Ogun State, will feature other top gospel acts such as Igwe Kenny, AY For God, Nelson, Lekon Adekbege, Shola Alao, Kemi Oduba, and many more. The album, which is titled Dansaki, contains spirit-filled and soul-lifting tracks such as Jehovah, Dansaki, The Same Forever, Everlasting Arms, and more. And that concludes the news on Pace TV. Thank you for being around with us. Once again, my name is Stella. Have a nice day.